90% of people who start a new workout program quit before they even reach day 14. They try to do an hour of intense cardio, lift heavy weights they aren't ready for, and completely burn out their nervous system. But doing just 1-0 specific low-impact movement for 5 minutes a day can actually trigger more fat loss and full body strength than an hour of wandering around the gym. I'm going to show you the only movement you need, a zero-impact variation of a military exercise that you can do right there in your living room. By the end of this, you'll have a literal day-by-day blueprint to drop body fat and build functional strength in just 5 minutes a day. But don't skip ahead to the exercise itself, because if you mess up the breathing technique I'm showing you in step 5, you'll gas out by day 3 and quit. Welcome back to 30-Day Health. If you're new here, hit subscribe, because what you're about to hear is going to completely change how you look at fitness. Look, most beginners fail because of one massive roadblock. We call it fitness overwhelm. You wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and decide that today is the day everything changes. You think you need a fancy gym membership, expensive running shoes, a complicated spreadsheet to track your macros, and a 2-hour morning routine. You try to change 20 different habits all at the exact same time. When you do that, your brain absolutely panics. It looks at this massive mountain of new, uncomfortable tasks, and the friction is just too high. So you skip one day, then you skip 2. And before you know it, you're right back where you started. The reality? Your body doesn't know the difference between a $2,000 treadmill and your living room floor. Your muscles don't have eyes. They don't care if you're wearing designer activewear or the pajamas you slept in. All your body knows, biologically speaking, is resistance and heart rate. That is it. If you apply resistance and elevate your heart rate, your body has no choice but to adapt. You need a single, frictionless habit to build momentum, and that is exactly what we are doing today. The only exercise you are doing for the next 30 days is called the step back sprawl. Think of it as a beginner-friendly, no-jump burpee. Now, I know the word burpee just made a few of you cringe, but hear me out. Traditional burpees are terrible for beginners. They force you to throw your body at the floor, slam your wrists, and violently jump back up, which destroys your knees and spikes your heart rate into an absolute panic zone. The step-back sprawl removes all of that violent impact while keeping the one thing that actually forces your body to change, moving your entire center of mass up and down against gravity. Here's how you do it. You stand up straight. You hinge at your hips and plant your hands firmly on the floor in front of you. You step one foot back. Then you step the other foot back so you are in a solid plank position. You pause for a split second. Then you step one foot forward, step the other foot forward, and you stand back up. That is 1 rep. No jumping, no push-ups, no slamming your joints into the hardwood floor. Just smooth, controlled movement. Why does this work so incredibly well? Because it forces your upper body, your core, and your lower body to work together as one cohesive unit. You are using your arms and shoulders to stabilize your weight. You are using your core to keep your spine straight. You are using your glutes, quads, and hamstrings to bring yourself back up to a standing position. A 160-pound person burns roughly 10 to 15 calories per minute doing continuous sprawl movements. That is massive for a low-impact exercise. Take John, for example. He's a 45-year-old desk worker I know who had terrible knees from years of playing basketball in his 20s. He couldn't run, he couldn't jump, and he thought his fat loss days were over. He used this exact step-back sprawl every single morning and dropped 12 pounds in a month because it gave him the cardiovascular benefit of a sprint without the joint pain. The most common mistake people make here is letting their ego take over. They do 3 reps, realize it feels pretty good, and decide to start jumping their feet back instead of stepping. Do not do this. If you add the jump too early, you spike your heart rate into a zone where your body thinks it is running from a bear. You will burn out in 2 minutes. Stick to the step back. Now, just because we removed the jump doesn't mean you can get sloppy. The magic of this movement happens in the plank phase, and you have to dial in what I call the anti-sag form. When you step both feet back into that plank, you have to lock in your core to protect your lower back. A sprawling movement is completely useless, and honestly a little dangerous if your hips sag down toward the floor. When your hips drop, you compress your lumbar spine. All the pressure that should be absorbed by your abdominal muscles gets shifted directly into your lower back vertebrae. That is a recipe for a pinched nerve or a tweaking pain that will sideline you for weeks. To fix this, you need to use a mental cue. The exact second your second foot steps back into that plank, I want you to squeeze your glutes like you are pinching a coin between them. Seriously, squeeze them hard. When you squeeze your glutes, your pelvis naturally tucks into a neutral position and your core automatically tightens up. Think about the posture of a sagging, broken rope bridge versus a solid steel beam. When you are in that plank, you want to be the steel beam. Nothing moves. Nothing sags. Another huge mistake here is what you do with your head. Most people stare straight down at their toes when they step back. This rounds your upper back and cuts off your airway. You want to keep your neck perfectly neutral. Look at the floor about 6 inches in front of your fingertips. This keeps your spine in one long, perfectly straight line from the back of your head all the way down to your heels. But getting the form right is only half the battle. Wait till you see the weird trick we're using to actually make this a habit. First, we need to talk about the 30-day rep schedule, because how you program this is everything. We are using a concept called progressive overload. You are going to start on day 1 with just 3 sets of 5 reps. That is 15 reps total for the entire day. It will take you less than 2 minutes. Then, you are going to add exactly 1 rep per set every 2 days. Why this specific math? Because progressive overload forces your muscles to adapt and grow without causing debilitating soreness on day 1. If you go to the gym and try to lift 100 pounds on your first day, you're going to get crushed. But if you lift 10 pounds, then 11, then 12, your body builds the infrastructure to handle the weight without you even noticing the struggle. It is the boiling frog method. If you drop a frog in boiling water, it jumps out. If you put it in cold water and slowly turn up the heat, it stays. We are slowly turning up the heat on your metabolism. Here is exactly how you track it. Get a sticky note and put it right on your bathroom mirror. Write down the schedule. Day 1, 3 sets of 5. Day 3, 3 sets of 6. Day 5, 3 sets of 7. By the time you reach the end of the month, you will be doing 3 sets of 15 or more, and your body won't even realize how much stronger it has become. This works because compound movements, exercises that use multiple joints at the same time, trigger a much higher afterburn effect than isolation exercises like a bicep curl. This afterburn is scientifically known as EPOS, or excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. It means your body continues to burn calories at an elevated rate for hours after you finish the movement, just to return your system to a resting state. The biggest mistake you can make right now is feeling highly motivated on day 1 and deciding to do 50 reps instead of the 15 I'm telling you to do. Motivation is a liar. It will convince you to overtrain. And then you will wake up on day 2 so incredibly sore that you can't even get out of bed, let alone do your next set. Stick to the math. Trust the slow build. If you're already feeling pumped to try this today, hit that like button and subscribe. We're just getting started on rebuilding your body. Now, how do we guarantee you actually do these reps every single day without relying on that fleeting motivation? We use the trigger habit strategy. You have to anchor this specific exercise to something you already do every single day without fail. Relying on sheer willpower is a losing game. Willpower is like a battery. It drains throughout the day as you make decisions at work, deal with traffic, and manage your life. By the time you get home, that battery is dead. You need to rely on existing neural pathways to guarantee consistency. This is called habit stacking. You already have dozens of habits deeply wired into your brain. You brush your teeth. You make coffee. You take a shower. You let the dog out. You are going to take the step-back sprawl and glue it to one of those existing habits. For example, do your reps the exact moment you press the button on your coffee maker. The machine starts brewing, and you immediately drop down and do your sets. When the coffee brews, I sprawl. That becomes your personal rule. It takes the decision-making completely out of your hands. You don't have to wake up and ask yourself, do I feel like working out today? You just press the coffee button, and your brain automatically knows it's time to move to the floor. You are bypassing the lazy part of your brain that wants to negotiate. The biggest trap here is telling yourself, I'll just do it after work when I have some free time. Let me save you the suspense. You won't. After work, you're exhausted, hungry, and the couch looks incredibly inviting. If you don't anchor the workout to a morning trigger, it will get pushed back until it gets entirely forgotten. Tie it to the coffee. Tie it to brushing your teeth. Make it automatic. And the reason why this next step works? You won't believe how simple it is. We have to talk about the belly pump breathing technique. This is the secret sauce that prevents you from gassing out and quitting. When you do a full body movement like this, your muscles demand massive amounts of oxygen. If you don't deliver that oxygen efficiently, lactic acid builds up rapidly, your muscles start burning, and your brain sends panic signals telling you to stop immediately. Here is the technique. You are going to exhale sharply when you step your feet back into the plank, and you are going to inhale deeply when you step forward and stand back up. Exhale on the way down. Inhale on the way up. Why is this so critical? Proper oxygen exchange keeps your heart rate in the aerobic fat-burning zone rather than crossing over into the anaerobic gassing out zone. When you are in the aerobic zone, your body uses oxygen to convert stored fat into energy. When you cross into the anaerobic zone by holding your breath or panting erratically, your body panics and starts burning through your limited glycogen stores, which leaves you feeling completely wiped out for the rest of the day. I want you to breathe through your nose as much as humanly possible during the inhale. When you exhale on the way down, purse your lips like you are trying to blow out a candle across the room. Make it a sharp, forceful push of air. If you watch professional fighters during a boxing match, you'll notice they don't hold their breath when they throw a punch. They let out a sharp hiss. It's rhythmic. It's controlled. It keeps their heart rate manageable even under extreme physical stress. The most common mistake beginners make is holding their breath when they hit that plank position. They brace their core so hard that they forget to breathe, and by the time they stand back up, they are gasping for air. Force the exhale on the way down. Blow out the candle. Right after you finish that last rep and your breathing is locked in, you move straight to the lazy hydration pairing. You need to drink 16 ounces of water immediately after finishing your daily sets, not an hour later, not when you get to the office. Immediately. When you do these step-back sprawls, you are creating microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. That sounds scary, but it's exactly what you want. That is how muscles grow back stronger and tighter. But your muscles desperately need water to repair those micro tears. Furthermore, the exertion creates a buildup of cellular waste and lactic acid. Water acts as the transportation system to flush all of that junk out of your muscles and into your bloodstream, so your organs can filter it out. Think of your muscles like a sponge sitting on your kitchen counter. If that sponge is bone dry and you try to bend it or stretch it, it cracks and tears. It is brittle and weak. But if you run that sponge under the faucet and it gets saturated with water, it becomes incredibly resilient. You can twist it, stretch it, and smash it, and it just bounces right back to its original shape. You want your muscles to be a wet sponge. To make this effortless, leave a full glass of water right next to your workout mat or your coffee maker the night before. Don't make yourself go hunt for a clean glass in the morning. Have it waiting for you. And please do not reach for a sugary sports drink. That is a massive mistake. You just did a 5-minute workout. You have not depleted your electrolytes or glycogen enough to warrant drinking 30 grams of liquid sugar. Stick to pure, clean water. But the craziest part is still coming, especially when you hit what I call the day 11 wall. Before we get to that wall, we have to talk about what happens when you wake up and you are actually sore. This brings us to the active recovery protocol. Around day 4 or day 5, despite our slow buildup, you are probably going to feel a deep ache in your quads, your shoulders, and your core. Your instinct is going to tell you to take the day off and lay on the couch. Do not do that. On the days you feel incredibly sore, you are going to do the exact same exercise, but you are going to do it at 50% speed. You are not going to skip it. Here is why this is completely non-negotiable. Blood flow is the ultimate healer in the human body. When you sit on the couch and don't move, your blood flow slows down, and those sore muscles stiffen up even more. But when you move, your heart pumps fresh, oxygen-rich, nutrient-dense blood directly into those damaged tissues. Movement brings the repair tools to the construction site much faster than sitting entirely still. Do the step backs in extreme slow motion. Take a full 5 seconds to step back into the plank and a full 5 seconds to stand back up. It should feel like you are moving underwater. Think of it like gently stretching a stiff rubber band to warm it up before you use it. If you yank a cold rubber band, it snaps. If you slowly massage it and stretch it, it becomes pliable again. The biggest mistake people make here is thinking that muscle soreness equals a physical injury. They wake up stiff, panic, and take 3 days off. By the time they try to start again, their habit momentum is completely dead, and they are back to square one. Soreness is just your body's way of asking for more resources. Feed it with slow, intentional movement. If this is hitting you right now and you know you've quit in the past because of soreness, drop a comment saying, "I'm in for 30 days," and hit subscribe. Let's hold each other accountable. Now, as you push through that first week, you are going to be tempted to check your progress. This is where you need to track the invisible progress and throw your bathroom scale in the closet for the next 30 days. Seriously, get it out of sight. You are going to track your ease of movement instead. Here is the hard truth about body recomposition. When you lose body fat while simultaneously building lean muscle, which is exactly what this exercise does, the number on the scale often stays exactly the same. Muscle is significantly denser than fat. It takes up much less space per pound. You could lose 3 pounds of fluffy body fat, gain 3 pounds of dense, tight muscle, and the scale won't budge a single ounce. If you are obsessing over that number, you will feel like a failure, even though your body is actually transforming perfectly. Plus, when you start a new exercise routine, your muscles store extra water to help repair those micro tears we talked about. This water weight can actually make the scale go up a pound or 2 in the first week. Quitting on day 12 because the scale went up a pound is the most tragic, common mistake beginners make. Instead, track how your body feels in space. On day 1, I want you to mentally rate how hard those 5 reps feel on a scale of 1 to 10. Write that number down on your sticky note. Then, on day 15, rate it again. You are going to be absolutely shocked at how a movement that felt like an 8 on day 1 suddenly feels like a 3. I had a client who did this exact protocol. He weighed the exact same on day 30 as he did on day 1. He was furious until he put his work pants on and realized he had to punch a brand new hole in his leather belt just to keep them up. The scale lied to him, but his clothes told the truth. Track your ease of movement. Track how your joints feel. Track how your shirts fit across your shoulders. We are about to cover how to supercharge this move, but first, we have to prepare your mind for the day 11 wall. This is the psychological dip that happens in the second week of any new routine, and it is the exact moment where 90% of people throw in the towel. You need to anticipate it so it doesn't destroy your progress. When you start on day 1, you are riding high on motivation. Your brain is flooding your system with dopamine because you are doing something new and exciting. You have a vision of your future self, and it feels great. But right around day 11, that newness completely fades. The dopamine drops. The exercise is no longer exciting. It is just a chore. It is work. Your brain starts whispering excuses. You're tired today. You've been doing so well, you deserve a day off. One missed day won't hurt. Knowing that this dip is a biological reality helps you push through it. Research from the European Journal of Social Psychology shows that it takes an average of 66 days to form a fully automatic habit. But the crucial jump where it stops feeling like a massive chore happens right around the 3-week mark, or 21 days. Day 11 is right in the middle of the hardest part of the curve. When you hit this wall, and your brain is screaming at you to skip today, you are going to use a psychological trick. You are going to promise yourself that you will just do one single rep. Tell yourself, I am not doing my full sets today. I am just going to drop down, do one step back sprawl, and then I can stop. Here is what happens almost every single time. You do the 1 rep. The friction of starting is broken. You're already on the floor. Your blood is moving, and you realize, well, I'm already down here. I might as well do a few more. And you almost always finish the entire set. The hardest part of a workout is never the workout itself. It is the transition from doing nothing to doing something. Make the transition as tiny as possible. Do not rely on watching hype videos or motivational speeches when you hit the wall. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Discipline is a choice, and choices build futures. Just do the 1 rep. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our follow-up videos on nutrition. But right now, let's look at how to level this exercise up. Once you cross that 3-week mark, your body is going to become highly efficient at the basic step-back sprawl. It will start to feel a little too easy. Your heart rate won't climb as high, and your muscles won't feel that deep burn. This is a great sign. It means you're getting fitter, but it also means it is time for the week 3 level up. Once the basic movement gets easy, we are going to add a simple calf raise at the very top of the movement. Why? Because adding a new physical variable reignites muscle adaptation. It forces your nervous system to wake back up and pay attention. Here is how you do it safely. You do your normal step-back sprawl. You step your feet forward and you stand up tall. But instead of just stopping there, you are going to push up high onto your toes, flexing your calf muscles as hard as you can. Hold that top position on your toes for 1 full second, finding your balance, and then slowly lower your heels back to the floor before starting the next rep. This tiny addition turns a 4-point movement into a 5-point full body burn. It targets your lower leg strength, which is crucial for overall mobility. More importantly, it dramatically increases your ankle stability and balance. As we age, ankle stability is one of the first things to go, which leads to falls and injuries. The biggest mistake here is getting overconfident. People feel that the sprawl is easy, so instead of adding the controlled calf raise, they decide they are ready to add a massive, explosive jump at the top. Don't do it. Adding a full jump too soon is a great way to shock your Achilles tendon and end up with a nasty strain. Keep it low impact. Keep it controlled. The calf raise gives you the muscular burn of a jump without the dangerous landing mechanics. Now, I want to give you one final bonus tip that will absolutely bulletproof your consistency. I call it the pajama rule. When it is time to do your 5 minutes of sprawls, do not go to your bedroom and put on workout clothes. Do not put on expensive running shoes. Do not put on a sweatband. If you have to change out of your pajamas or your work clothes to do a 5-minute exercise, you are actively creating friction. You are giving your brain time to talk you out of it while you tie your shoelaces. Just do the movement in whatever you are wearing right at that exact moment. If you just woke up and you are in your boxers or an oversized t-shirt, drop down and do your reps. If you are barefoot, even better. Being barefoot actually strengthens the small stabilizing muscles in your feet that get weak from wearing shoes all day. Barefoot in pajamas is the ultimate life hack for consistency because it completely removes the getting ready excuse. You don't need to get ready. You just need to move. So, let's map out your exact action plan. Here is exactly what you are going to do right now, today, to get this started. Step 1. Pick your trigger time. Look at your daily routine and choose the one habit you never skip. Maybe it is turning on the coffee maker. Maybe it is the moment right before you brush your teeth. Decide right now what your trigger is going to be. Step 2. Clear a small 4x4 space on your floor. You don't need a home gym. You just need enough room to step your legs back without kicking a coffee table. Step 3. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for Monday. Right after this ends, I want you to drop down and do exactly 3 practice reps of the step-back sprawl. Just 3. Feel the movement. Practice the anti-sag core lock. Practice the sharp exhale on the way down. Prove to your brain that this is safe, easy, and totally doable. Look, you don't need a perfect, complicated gym routine to completely change your life and your body. You don't need to suffer for 2 hours a day to see results. You just need to prove to yourself that you can make a small promise to yourself and actually keep it for 30 days. The compound interest of keeping small promises is unstoppable confidence. The hardest part of any journey is simply starting. Break the friction. Drop down. Do your first 3 reps today. I'll see you on day 30.